If you are still not making the big bucks with your writing, I'm about to tell you why. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Before we get into it, if you could please do me a favor and click on the thumbs up button. That tells YouTube that you're here, you're watching this, and that you're enjoying my content. All right, let's jump right in. There are a handful of very common rookie mistakes that freelance writers and bloggers make over and over again. And it's just an indication that even if you're a great writer, you don't really know how to produce valuable, high quality content that's going to deliver results for your clients. And if you want to be able to charge more and also stand out from your competitors, then you need to be sure that you're avoiding these mistakes. The first mistake, and this might be the most important, you write in your voice and not your clients'. Clients don't care about your voice. They want their voice. They want their branding, their messaging. Of course, there are exceptions. If you're writing for a magazine or when I was writing for Bustle or Elite Daily or the Daily Dot, that's work that's coming from me personally. So it has my voice, my opinions, my tone. But if you're trying to build a business as a freelance writer, those aren't really the kinds of jobs that you are going to be taking on for the most part. Some of your clients will let you write in your own voice, yes. But if you don't know how to be flexible with that and how to change your voice to align with their messaging, you're never gonna make it. Let me give you an example, that always helps. I've got one client, they are a supplement brand. All of the work we do is very heavily grounded and based in research. Their writing is very black and white, very educational, very data heavy. They're not looking for my opinions, my creativity. They don't care about that. That's not what they're paying for. They want heavily researched articles about very meaty topics. When I'm writing for them, I write in their voice, not mine. It needs to align with their brand. On the flip side, I've got another client. They're a social media tool, and there's a lot more room for creativity there. I can get a little bit sassy and tongue-in-cheek. I can inject a little bit more of my own personality, and on top of that, it's published under my name. It's still on behalf of the client, so it's not 100% my voice. I'm still aligning with their messaging. But the point is, compared to my previous example, this client allows for a little more flexibility in terms of the tone. Similarly, if someone were to take my spot, and their personal tone was different from mine, but still mostly aligned with the brand, they would probably be okay with it. The point of all of this is that you need to be prepared to write for the client, not for yourself. And if you produce a sample, or if you have your first paid assignment and they say, hey, good job, but this doesn't really align with our branding or our messaging, you need to be able to change it. Don't take it personally, don't get offended. They're paying you to provide a service, and if they say, you need to seamlessly fit within our messaging, then you need to know how to do it. Really, a lot of this just comes down to practice and learning how to change your voice, change your tone. And also, I feel like it really is a mindset thing. I know when I sit down to write for certain clients, I go, okay, right now, I am them. I am writing as them. Other clients, I sit down and I go, okay, I can write a little more like myself. You need to be able to kind of put on different hats and change the perspective that you're writing from. So that's the first big mistake, not knowing how to write in the client's tone. Also, I am aware that there is a horrible, I'm just gonna take these off. I don't look as smart now, that's okay. Really bad reflection in these glasses. Okay, we're back. The second common mistake that freelance writers and bloggers make is that they don't do keyword research before they start writing. How can you know what to write if you don't know what your target audience wants to read? You can't. That's why keyword research is so important. When you're doing keyword research, you're starting to dig into what your target audience is looking for, what gets a lot of traffic in Google, what they care about. You can't write to that audience if you don't know what they care about. What are their pain points? What do they want to learn? What are their goals, their hopes, their dreams, their needs? Some of this you might be able to kind of glean just from guessing and, looking at what's been published on the blog already, what people are saying on social, but really If you want a blog that's going to perform well in Google, which is a must if you want this to work, then it has to start with keyword research because Google is going to be looking for those keywords. I've got a few resources that will help you do keyword research, so I will link to those in the description box below. That's the second mistake. Writers don't do keyword research before they start writing. The third mistake, this is part of SEO best practices, but it deserves a shout out because it's that important. The third mistake is not including internal and external links in your writing. An internal link is a link pointing to a page on the same website you're writing for. So if I'm writing a blog for megangrant.net, an internal link might be megangrant.net/contact. An external link is a link pointing to a web page outside of that website. So if I'm writing on megangrant.net, an external link might be neilpatel.com. Internal, external. Just like keywords, this is something that Google really cares about, but it's also like a very small step you can take to show your client that you are going the extra mile and doing things you don't necessarily have to do. They could do this, but you're saying, don't worry, I'll do it for you. Also, it makes your work a little more valid, authoritative, trustworthy, because if you are writing something and there are no external links, that is the equivalent of saying, I did no outside research when I wrote this article. And I don't think that's ever really a good thing. So let's say I'm writing a blog for my website. I'm writing a blog about doing keyword research, and I find something on neilpatel.com to back up a claim I'm making about how important keywords are for Google. It's really powerful for me to say, yes, these are all my words, this is what I'm saying, but Neil Patel, who's a huge figure in this industry, also says X, Y, and Z, and then link to him. That's showing the reader, the client, that I did outside research and I know how to back up my claims with information and data and research from outside resources, especially outside resources that are much more powerful than me. Neil Patel carries a lot more weight than I do, than most of us do. That goes without saying. Internal links are really important, because it helps keep people on the website longer, which is always good news for your client. And also internal linking is really good for their SEO, for the health of their website. Google sees that and kind of gives you bonus points for it. Worth noting is that just like keyword stuffing, you don't want to go ham and include a million internal and external links. We don't know exactly how this works, but we do know that the link juice, the power that each link carries in terms of SEO and Google, it's split up amongst all the links on the entire web page. So the more links you have, the less powerful each link is. So always bear in mind quality over quantity. Be strategic in the links you include. Make sure they serve a purpose and that they matter and that they're high quality links. Don't link to a Wikipedia page. Wikipedia is not reliable and Google knows that, and they're gonna see that and be like, why are they linking to Wikipedia? You want high quality websites like Neil Patel, like the CDC or marthastewart.com, websites that are authoritative, trustworthy, and quality, high quality in the eyes of Google. All right, that was mistake number 3, forgetting internal and external links. Mistake number 4 is writing in huge paragraphs. Nothing is more intimidating to a reader than landing on a page and seeing huge blocks of text like this. What they're going to do is see that and then leave. No one wants to read giant paragraphs. It's boring, A, and B, it makes it feel like it's taking them longer to get through the text, even if it's not. So what do? You break up the text. For starters, you write in smaller paragraphs. When I'm writing blogs for my clients, typically paragraphs are about 3 sentences. I know many of us, or at least I learned in school, that paragraphs should always be at least 5 sentences, but I think that was kind of in the days before, online content and digital media, digital marketing. These days, people don't want to read huge paragraphs. It's painful. Also, you should be breaking up your text with images and videos. Think of lists, like bullet point lists or numbered lists. Also, headings. Headings are huge. Not only do they help break up the text, but people should be able to read the headings in your blog post and come away with the main points of the content. Remember, most people don't read word for word anyway, they skim. So you want them to be able to skim your blog and walk away with the main point. That's why headings are so important. Breaking up the text is going to help make a better first impression, and first impressions are so important because it's already hard enough to get people to click on your blog in the first place. If they click through to it and they get on the page and they instantly see something they don't like huge paragraphs, they're just going to leave. If they see something that's a lot easier on the eyes, like a blog with really short paragraphs that are easy to digest, lots of pictures, lots of short lists, they're gonna look at that and be like, oh, this is something I can get through pretty quickly, pretty easily, and it's going to be great for your click-through rate, your bounce rate, your conversion rates, everything. Okay, that was mistake number 4, writing in huge paragraphs and not breaking up the text. Mistake number 5 is when writers forget to include a call to action somewhere in their blog. Usually it goes at the end. The call to action, CTA, is so important because it literally tells the reader to take action. You probably click on CTAs all the time and you don't even realize it. Anytime a web page says, click here to download, shop now, contact us, those are all CTAs. They're telling you to take action, to shop, to contact, to download. The reason CTAs are so important, plain and simple, is that they work. There is research on this saying that content, including social media posts, that includes CTAs perform better, convert better than content that doesn't include a CTA. You literally have to tell people what to do if you want them to do it, and they will. Bear in mind that when clients pay you to write blog content for them, they're not paying you to barf up words on a page. They could pay somebody else much less for the same thing. They want results. So you should always be thinking when you're writing a piece of content for a client, what results am I trying to deliver, and will this do the job? As an example, if I'm writing a blog and the goal of the blog, aside from, nurturing our leads, if we're trying to get people to download a white paper, then I'm going to have a call to action somewhere in that blog with a button, with a link that says, click here to download the white paper. This also allows us to better measure whether our content efforts are paying off. Yes, blogs that get high traffic, high views, that's great news. But again, the closer you can tie your content to revenue, the better. That's one of the biggest struggles that brands have with justifying the cost of paying for blogging in the first place. So let's say you are blogging for an e-commerce company. I have a few e-commerce clients. One of them sells fitness gear. And so many of our blogs, not all of them, but a lot of them, we're trying to kind of nudge people to go check out the shop pages, the product pages. So I'll say, interspersed throughout the blog, and at the end of the blog, I'll say, oh, hey, if you need to stock up on this kind of gear, click here to shop our collection. That gives my client one more way to see if my blogs are helping drive traffic to the web pages where people can go and actually spend money on them. This is going to help you justify the investment people are making in you. And this is how you're going to hang on to your clients longer. This client has kept me on board for a really long time, and they pay me very well because the blog gets a ton of traffic, and we know that I'm helping drive traffic to the main shop page. If I wasn't helping them do that, if I wasn't helping them grow their email list, grow their YouTube traffic, why have me? Yeah, it's cool that I'm there to keep the blog updated and fresh and current, but if I'm not delivering results, I'm pointless. So your responsibility as a writer is a lot more than just writing something that sounds pretty. You need to know how to deliver results. If you can deliver results, if you can prove that you're worth the investment, you are going to hang on to your clients so much longer. All right, that was mistake number 5, 6, 5, 2, I don't know. That was the next mistake, leaving out a call to action. The next mistake kind of goes along with the previous one, is not measuring the results of your content, not measuring what it's actually doing. In some cases, your client might be doing this already. They might have someone monitoring metrics and insights and blog traffic and clicks and all that data. That's great, but you should, at least in a small capacity, want to be a part of that. You want to be able to get your hands on the data that reflects how your blogs are performing. This is for a couple of reasons. First, it shows the client that you're really invested in delivering results. It tells them that you are holding yourself accountable because you want to see, based on the data, based on the numbers, whether or not your content is working. Also, this is really valuable information for you. If you write about the same topic for 10 blogs, not the same exact thing, but let's say, as an example, let's say you are a nutrition writer and you write 10 blogs for a client on various aspects of keto, and none of the keto blogs perform well. And then you write a blog or a couple blogs on paleo and they go crazy, they go viral. You need to be watching that data to know, okay, this audience might not care about keto, they seem to care about paleo, so we're gonna produce more content on paleo. All of that information is going to help you make better decisions when it comes to what to write and how to write it. Hopefully your clients already have a Google Analytics account set up. If not, you should tell them to set it up. I've got clients that use SEMrush, Moz. These are other tools that will give you information on traffic and ranking keywords. I know a lot of writers don't think that this is like a very glamorous part of our jobs. They don't want to be bothered. I see too many writers making the mistake of thinking that their job ends once they hand the writing off. To be clear, you could take that approach, but we're talking about mistakes writers make that are costing them money, and that's costing you money. They're going to pay you $150, $200, whatever you're charging, because you're producing very high quality content that's delivering results, and you're keeping an eye on those results. That means that you need to understand things like SEO, keywords, and having a basic understanding of how to navigate Google Analytics, SEMrush, Moz. Do you need to be an expert? No. To be transparent, this is kind of a field in and of itself. Bigger companies that have the budget, they hire SEO managers or people who are monitoring website metrics. So no, you don't need to be an expert. But at the very least, at the bare minimum, you need to be able to log into their dashboards like Google Analytics and understand, okay, here's my blog and here's what happened as a result of my blog. Writing any job, we should constantly be learning, growing, evolving. Nothing is static, especially when we're talking about the digital world. Nothing is static. The same thing isn't going to work forever. In fact, what we're doing right now in terms of blog content, social media, email marketing, it might not work next week or a month from now. As soon as an algorithm changes or a platform updates, that could very well mean that we have to adjust our approach. So if you are not measuring the results of your efforts, you're missing the mark completely. It's kind of like keyword research. If you're not going to do keyword research, don't bother. If you're not going to measure the results of your blog content, don't bother. All right, and that was the last one on this list for now. The final mistake is not monitoring the metrics that reflect your blog content. Those are some of the biggies. There are more, but I wanted to cover just the main ones that I think, if you fix these things, I think it's a really good reflection of you. And also I think it gives you room to increase your rates because you're going to be doing things that a lot of other writers aren't doing the right way. I do have an entire course on how to write blogs that get tons of traffic, that rank higher in Google. I'm going to link to that in the description below. As always, if you have any questions, drop me a comment. I always respond. And if you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up and tell YouTube that you like this video. And I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.